I live in a city full of loyalty programs. Cafes, restaurants, retail shops, wellness studios, pharmacies. I've signed up for more of them than I can count. And you know what most of them sent me after I signed up? Crickets, like complete silence. These businesses got my attention, got my contact details, got my explicit permission to communicate, and then disappeared. This is not a technology problem. This is a follow-up problem. And today I'm going to show you exactly how to fix it. If your promotions aren't converting the way you expected, if people sign up, grab your offer, and then just vanish, this video is going to explain exactly why. And more importantly, it's going to show you why the fix has nothing to do with your offer, your product, or how good your marketing is. There's one thing separating the businesses that consistently win their market from the ones that keep starting over. It's not talent, it's not budget. Stick around, because once you see it, you cannot unsee it. If you are new here, I'm Oldest Systems Rockstar, over 20 years in marketing and business growth, building the systems behind both. The channel is for business owners who want practical, no geek ways to use AI and automation to grow. Glad you're here. Let me ask you something. When was the last time you actually used a paper stamp card? You know the ones. Buy 10 coffees, get one free. Except the card that lives at the bottom of your bag for 6 months, gets washed in your jeans once, or disappears entirely before you ever hit stamp number 7. Personally, I cannot picture why anyone would still be running these in 2026. But here's the uncomfortable truth. Most digital loyalty solutions aren't that far from a paper stamp card. Different material, same problem. They capture something, a name, an email, a phone number, and then nothing. I've signed up for loyalty programs across restaurants, cafes, retail shops, wellness businesses all over the world. In most cases, after signing up, I never heard from them again. Not a reminder, not an offer, not even a, hey, your reward is waiting. Just crickets, nothing. And this isn't unique to one market or one type of business. I see it everywhere. Business owners who worked hard to get someone's attention, put in the effort to capture their details, got explicit permission to communicate, and then left that permission sitting there, unused. It reminds me of a restaurant owner who spends months perfecting the menu, training the staff, designing the space, and then forgets to turn the open sign around. Everything is ready, the work is done, the customers are literally outside, but the door might as well be locked. That is what a contact list without a follow-up system looks like. And today I'm going to show you why this happens, why it's costing you more than you realize, and exactly what to do about it. There's a name for this problem. I call it the suck it law. And once you understand it, you'll never look at your contact list the same way again. Pinky promise. Now, if this is your first time on the channel, I tell these stories through two characters. Pickleson runs Pickled Pizza, son of a Scandinavian lingerie model and a pickle. He represents the reactive, winged approach most business owners default to when they're overwhelmed. All chaos, hope, and prayer. Systems Ninja runs Fat Ninja Pizza, former strategist for a ninja clan who discovered an ancient scroll of business wisdom and a dangerously delightful pizza recipe. Got a little chubby eating his own pizza? Occupational hazard. He represents the systematic, proactive approach we are building toward. You'll see both of them come up as we go. So, the suck it law. Suck it is an acronym. Some users consistently keep ignoring things. And honestly, when I first named this, I pictured a toddler with a mohawk on a tricycle throwing a tiny middle finger in the air the moment you ask them to do something. If you get kids who aren't completely terrified of you, you know exactly what I mean. That's your customer. Not malicious, not hostile, just completely unbothered by your first ask. The law states one simple truth. People will ignore your first ask. Not because they're rude, not because they hate you or your offer, not because your product is not good enough. And I want to be very clear about this. It is not personal. I've been in business for over 20 years. I understand the suck it law better than almost anyone. And I still feel the sting sometimes. You spend days, sometimes weeks, crafting an offer, you think about it, you refine it, you send it out, and then silence. It feels like rejection, I get it. I really do. But here's what I know for certain after all these years. It's not about you. It never was. It's about life happening to the person on the other end of your message. Their boss sends an urgent request, their kid knocks a drink off the table, something pulls their attention away, and your offer, as brilliant as it is, quietly slips to the back of their mind. Not deleted, not rejected, just buried. And this happens to every single one of your potential customers. Every campaign you run, every offer you send, every promotion you push. Most people won't act on the first touch. In fact, here's something worth sitting with. When business owners tell me a promotion didn't work, the first question I ask is, how many times did you tell people about it, and through how many different channels? The answer is almost always the same. We sent an email. One email. And if you think everyone on your list opened that email, read it, clicked through, and made a decision, you are going to be very disappointed by the data. People are living their lives. The simplest way to improve any campaign's performance is almost never a better headline or a bigger budget. It's more touches, more channels, more consistent presence. Email, WhatsApp, push notifications. Each channel has its own rhythm, its own permitted frequency, and that's a conversation for another video, but the principle is this. Most business owners are so afraid of annoying their customers that they never go anywhere near the line they actually need to cross to do it. They blast it once and wait for magic. Pickleson blasts one email, waits a week, hears nothing, concludes that promotions don't work. Systems Ninja knows the first ask is just the opening move. The game has barely started. Now, here's the assumption that kills more marketing efforts than anything else. They didn't respond, so they're probably not interested. Wrong. So completely wrong. People buy when they are ready, not when you are ready. And the gap between those two moments can be days, weeks, or months. Let me show you what this looks like in real life. Someone walks past Fat Ninja Pizza. They scan the QR code on the menu board. They grab the welcome offer sent straight to their phone. They don't use it immediately. Life happened. A reminder arrives. They see it, thinks, yes, I'll go this week. Life happens again. Another nudge. This time, they're slammed at work. And then one evening, maybe they just got paid, maybe it's a Friday, and they don't feel like cooking. Maybe their partner says, let's just order something nice tonight. Suddenly they're ready. And Fat Ninja Pizza is right there, top of mind, because the system never stopped showing up. What if Systems Ninja had stopped after the second reminder? That sale goes to whoever stays consistent. Best pizza, not whoever had the best price. Whoever kept showing up. Someone might ignore your offer 5, 8, 10 times, but when the moment is finally right, the business that stayed present is the one that gets the sale. The businesses that dominate their markets aren't necessarily the most talented or the most creative, but they are the most consistent. And here's the part that should genuinely excite you. Consistency at scale is not a human job. It's a systems job. Let me be honest with you about what manual follow-up looks like at any kind of scale. It's not a business. It's a second job. Remembering who signed up, when they signed up, whether they used the offer, when to nudge them, what to say. Doing that for 10 people is exhausting. For 1,000 people, it's impossible. Now, I want to be fair here. There are businesses where manual personal follow-up makes complete sense. If you're selling charter jets or 7-figure consulting contracts and your entire market is 100 highly specific people, a well-maintained spreadsheet and a disciplined personal outreach process might be all you need. High ticket, low volume. Absolutely manageable with a hands-on approach. But that is not the reality for most businesses watching this. If you are running a restaurant, a cafe, a retail shop, training business, wellness clinic, you're not dealing with 100 prospects. You're dealing with hundreds of interactions every single week. And at that volume, manual follow-up doesn't just become difficult. It becomes the thing that quietly breaks your business. The systems ninja solves this once and then never thinks about it again. He builds a sequence, a series of automated messages that go out based on behavior, not based on whether he remembered to send someone something today. Here's what the logic looks like for Fat Ninja Pizza. Maria grabs the welcome offer. She gets a confirmation straight away with her offer details. She doesn't use it. A few days later, a friendly reminder arrives. Hey Maria, your free baby ninja pizza is still waiting for you. She still doesn't use it. A gentle urgency nudge follows. Just a heads up, your offer expires soon. We'd hate you to miss it. Final reminder, last chance. And then, if she still doesn't use it, the sequence ends. No spam, no harassment. The system made its best effort and moved on gracefully. This entire sequence ran automatically. Systems Ninja didn't send a single message manually. He didn't check a spreadsheet. He didn't remember Maria's name. The system did all of it. Now, I'm not going to give you a rigid day-by-day prescription here because every business is different. A restaurant with a short window expiring offer runs a tighter sequence than a wellness clinic nurturing someone toward their first appointment. The principle is the same. The timing adapts to your context. What matters is that the sequence exists, that it runs, that it never forgets. Here's something that I want you to sit with. The businesses I described at start, the ones that captured context and then went completely silent, they are not your competition. They are your opportunity. You don't need to be Domino's. You don't need a massive marketing budget. You don't need a team of people managing campaigns around the clock. You just need to show up consistently, automatically, with the right message at the right moment. Let me tell you about someone I work with. She runs a training business, and if you knew her specific niche, you'd immediately understand why I can't name her, because right now she has built such a dominant position in her market that identifying her would basically hand her competitors a roadmap. She came to us overwhelmed. Messages coming in on every channel. People saying they'd attend events and then not showing up. Show-up rates were a constant headache. We built her automated reminder sequences. Push notifications, WhatsApp follow-ups, triggered by behavior, not by someone remembering to press send. A little while later, she went away. Luxury resort, genuinely offline. While she was there, her team ran an event. The sequences ran automatically. Nobody was manually chasing attendees. It was the highest attendance they had ever recorded. She wasn't there. Her staff wasn't doing the follow-up. The system was. And her competitors, still struggling to manage a handful of inquiries manually, still wondering why their events feel like pulling teeth. That's not a talent cap, that's a systems cap. The bar is shockingly low. Most of your competitors are Pickleson, handing out flyers and hoping, sending one email and waiting, running one campaign, watching it underperform and blaming the economy. Meanwhile, the system runs quietly, following up with everyone who showed interest, reminding them at exactly the right moment, never forgetting a single contact, never getting tired, never calling in sick. And when the moment is finally right for that customer, there's only one business that's been consistently on their mind. That's not luck, that's a system. So here's where we are. You understand the suck it low. You know the first ask is just the opening move. You know the system has to do what no human can sustain manually. But here's the next question that naturally follows. Once you have a database of customers, people who bought from you, attended your events, visited your location, how do you know which ones need a reminder right now? Which ones are about to go cold? Which ones are your most loyal? And which ones did you lose without even noticing? That's exactly what the next video covers. It's a framework called RFM, and it turns your customer database from a list of names into an instrument panel that tells you exactly who to reach out to and when. Both videos are on the screen now. Watch whichever one feels most urgent for where your business is today.